Once upon a time, there was a wise teacher who wanted to share an important lesson with their students. They walked into the classroom one day carrying a large glass jar. The students looked on with curiosity as the teacher placed the jar on the table in front of them. The teacher began by explaining that the jar represented each person's life. It symbolized all the time, energy, and opportunities that each individual had. The teacher held up a bag filled with rocks and started placing them into the jar one by one until no more rocks could fit. The students noticed that the rocks took up most of the space in the jar. The teacher then asked the class, "Is the jar full?" The students looked at the jar and agreed that it seemed full, but the teacher smiled and said, "Not yet." Next, the teacher took out a bag filled with small pebbles and poured them into the jar. The pebbles found their way through the gaps between the rocks and filled up the remaining spaces. Again, the teacher asked the class, "Is the jar full?" The students hesitated this time, realizing that there was still more room. Encouraged by their response, the teacher reached for a bag of sand and began pouring it into the jar. The sand settled into the tiny spaces left by the rocks and pebbles. "Now, is the jar full?" the teacher inquired. The students were unsure, but one brave student replied, "Maybe not." The teacher smiled and nodded in agreement. Finally, the teacher picked up a pitcher of water and started pouring it into the jar. The water seeped through even the tiniest gaps, filling the jar until it could hold no more. "Now is the jar full?" the teacher asked again. This time the students answered in unison. "Yes," the teacher explained, "the jar represents your life. The rocks represent the most important things in life: your family, your health, your values, and your passions. These are the things that should take up most of your time and energy. If you prioritize them, everything else will fall into place." The pebbles symbolize the smaller things in life: your hobbies, your friendships, and your personal goals. They may not be as crucial as the rocks, but they still hold significance. Remember to make time for them too. The sand represents the little distractions and daily tasks that can easily consume your time if you let them. These things may seem important in the moment, but they are not what truly matters in the grand scheme of things. Don't let them take up too much space in your life, the teacher concluded. And finally, the water represents the fleeting moments of joy, laughter, and spontaneity that make life beautiful. These are the moments that often go unnoticed if you're too preoccupied with the rocks, pebbles, and sand. Take the time to appreciate and cherish them. The students nodded, understanding the powerful message conveyed through the jar. From that day forward, they vowed to prioritize what truly mattered, fill their lives with meaning, and savor every precious drop of the water that came their way.